Fier, one of the co-founders here with Miguel Hernandez. He is the CEO of Grumo Media and a lot of awesome, cool stuff. So, before welcome to the show, man, and thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, I love to do interviews, and if there's anything I can say that it's of value to somebody, I'm so happy.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll get a bunch, man, out of this one because I know, I don't think you know this, Miguel, but I've seen you probably a year, 2 years ago or so, just on Udemy and also in Grumo Media, just the different types
Yeah,
of animations. So,
nice.
so yeah, man. Because I have an animation company. It's
Yeah,
kind of how I got started. So us video guys, we always kind of look at each other's stuff and
yeah,
take little ideas and things like that. But Miguel's definitely he's one of the most like animated, coolest educators I think out there. That's what on Udemy you definitely you're you have that look. You're kind of you're very animated on camera. So it
yeah. I try to be. But
yeah
one of the things one of the reasons why I'm animated, well, it's because this is my personality one. But the other reason is because when I started teaching online, I remember all those years I went to a private Catholic school back in Spain, and having to go through very boring lectures. And I'm like, if I'm ever going to be teaching, I'm trying to make it somewhat entertaining. So if what I'm teaching is dry, at least you have fun watching.
There you go. Yeah, man. And that's like the devil's curse is like, boring education out there. And that's the
Yeah,
power of Udemy. You can just take it and make it your own. And that's exactly what you've done.
yeah,
So, yeah, let's I guess like you said, you came from Spain and you made the big move to Vancouver. I think is where you're at now,
yeah.
right? So, what sparked that whole move? I know that was a big, uprooting.
Well, that was 16 years ago, and originally, the main reason was because my father moved here because he had a job opportunity here, and he was traveling throughout the whole world, and he really liked it. At that time, he had the divorce recently, so he's like single. He wants to, do his own thing, and that time we were, like, I was 19 when I moved in here, and I have two siblings too. They were also like pretty independent, and he said, "Hey, why don't you come here for a year?" And that's what we did. We came, we loved it, and next thing you know, I was studying here and making a living here, and eventually we became Canadian back in 2000. So we have dual citizenship. But
Nice.
my mom and a lot of relatives and friends are still back in Spain. So every year, if I can, I go back and visit them, right? But
Awesome, man.
that's how we ended up here.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, in 19 too. That's obviously you're out of high school. You're kind of probably trying to figure out what you want to do, as a career too, right?
Yeah, we just finished high school, and then well, the story is more complex than that. But I
Right.
did a semester in Reno, Nevada. I took mechanical engineering, and then once I moved to Canada, I started all over again, and I again took mechanical design at a institute here in British Columbia. So I basically did my secondary education in Canada. Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, it's double doing it then, and obviously, yeah, passions come from that. How did you fall into the whole animation and then teaching too?
That was a very windy process.
I
I
know.
mean, I started from mechanical design. So three and a half years, I worked for a big manufacturing company designing machinery for the plywood industry, right? And after that, I got bored of it, and also the company didn't need me, so I was made redundant. But while I was doing that gig, I taught myself how to do 3D animation, and then I freelanced 3D animation for 4 years
Hmm.
or something like that. Then I ended up getting a job at a big television studio here in Vancouver, and that's where I kind of learned all the TV stuff and camera operation and editing. And then I had also this background in animation. And then when that gig was finished, I was doing some with web development as well, and met some friends here in Vancouver that needed a video to explain what they did on their website. And I'm like, maybe I can do that. So I went online, figured out more or less what one of these explanatory videos looked like, and then I said, oh, maybe I can do it. And that's what I did. I basically in a couple of weeks put a video for this local company, and they really liked it. And from there, I I found out that there was a need for these type of videos, and that's when I kind of started Grumo Media. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, and you fell right into it. That's kind of my story as well. Different paths, but that's
Yeah.
usually how things happen like that too. So
Hmm.
how about the teaching though? Yeah, I know that's obviously you had the background going to school twice, so maybe
Yeah.
that's kind of how teaching was done. What got you into that?
Well, teaching was more of a, well, I let's say like a year into Grumo Media,
Mhm.
I was listening. I'm very interested in entrepreneurship and learning how the companies work and people are starting businesses and stuff like that. Since at that time I just started this business, I was trying to absorb as much information as possible to learn from people that have already made it. And I was listening to these Mixergy.com interviews, and in one of them, Andrew Warner was interviewing this girl in her early 20s. Her name is Laura Roeder,
Mm.
and she was saying that she had a business where she just had online courses where she taught people how to use Twitter and Facebook, like basic social media.
Yep.
And she was making a killing, over $300,000 a year, teaching what I thought was pretty basic stuff. So obviously that like a spark went in my head. Actually, there must be a market for this type of online education. And at that time, well, what I could teach obviously was how to do explanatory videos. So I put a course teaching that, right? And that was my first attempt on teaching online, and it got really good reception.
Hmm.
And that obviously validated the idea that I could teach online, that people were willing to listen to what I had to say. And since then, I've created a bunch of other courses.
Yeah, and that's kind of and that's the beauty of Udemy, and that's where you got your start, basically, right, with teaching.
Yeah, so originally I was selling my courses through my website, but then on another Mixsearch interview, I learned about one of the co-founders of Udemy. And at
Mm.
that time, they were just starting out. And they're like, hey, we're creating this community where anybody can upload their videos and teach online. So you don't have to worry about so much the technical stuff of how to sell your videos. They provide a platform where all you have to do is upload your video, put a price, and then Udemy takes care of all the marketing and promotional efforts, which is a lot if you're doing it by yourself. So I
Right.
was one of the original instructors, put my course on there, and sales pretty much doubled because of the efforts that Udemy was putting into marketing, right? So it was a
Got it.
great discovery.
Yeah, no, Udemy's awesome. If you guys listening, if you haven't just checked out the website, just browse around. There's like something for anybody on there, basically. There's
Now there's thousands of courses, thousands of instructors. Anybody I know, all my friends, I tell them, if you know anything, spend a couple of weeks doing a course, because once you put it out there, it's like a product and you can reach a lot of people. You can provide a lot of value. You don't have to worry about how to do the marketing. It's really a win-win situation for
hmm
for Udemy and for instructors.
yeah. Now, I know you mentioned the marketing, and they do a lot of that work for you. Um, I know, there's coupon codes. You could be featured on their website. There's mailing lists. They
Yeah.
send out email promotions. How did you really leverage their marketing to really get some sales for yourself?
Their marketing to get sales myself. Well, anything that is posted on Udemy, well, I'm getting sales through their marketing efforts on Udemy. Now,
Hmm.
because they also promote, actually, in all my courses, they mention a little bit of, I mentioned a little bit of Grumo Media. So indirectly, I also get sales through my website thanks to their marketing efforts, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I really don't spend much time doing marketing myself, like paid ads and stuff like that. 100% of my marketing is social media and inbound marketing, which consists on creating good content that people can share through my blog mostly, and posting videos on YouTube, right?
Got it. Yeah.
But my ability to reach more people has happened thanks to the marketing efforts of Udemy, and that helps me to sell more courses on their website, and also whatever I sell through my website.
Makes sense. So the blog was it was used as like a kickstart, and social media, of course, to start driving the people, the traffic over there.
Exactly. I mean, for anybody that's listening and starting a business, that's probably one of the most efficient ways of getting traffic and potential sales is start blogging and creating really good content and reaching to people that are in the same industry and suggesting to write for them as well,
Hmm.
because that gives you more credibility. You rank higher on Google. I mean, there's a lot of benefits from doing that. It takes a lot of time. It doesn't happen overnight,
Sure.
but it's a more affordable option than just paying for Google Ads, and it's a whole new world that if you don't understand, you just can waste a lot of money, right? So
Yeah, and I know Udemy as well. They offer coupon codes for viewers, and also you gave us very generously. You gave us a bunch of 50% off coupon codes for your courses. So definitely check those out. They're on the page here.
yeah,
But that's have you noticed that that's a really good way to drive traffic and get reviews and all that stuff on Udemy?
giving out coupons.
Yeah, coupon codes. Yeah.
Yeah, well, coupons codes are it's like one of the main strategies for incentivizing people to buy anything. In the case of Udemy, they really leverage coupons to be able to. I mean, almost every other week they have like a special coupon of the week for different courses or discounts, and that really helps people to like, oh, well, let's check it out. It's
Yeah.
like 80% off or something like that, or 50% off for the next week, right? So, and the great thing is that instructors within Udemy, they can easily create their own coupons and give them a limit of how many of them are available or an expiry date. So if you want to do a promotion, which is a very good strategy to get sales on a short amount of period, especially if you're launching a course, and if you want to leverage your email list, well, obviously, when you release that new course, instead of saying, "Hey, go and check this course for the full price," well, you give them a little bit of a little bit incentive, and a coupon is just the best tool to do that.
Yep. Yeah, and like you said, leveraging an email list too, because I noticed on your blog you're collecting
Yeah,
emails. So that's
yeah,
that's
exactly.
that's probably a very
Yeah,
effective strategy there.
collecting emails. So, I mean, leveraging social media, blogging, writing for other people, and definitely from day one that you have your website up, is collect email addresses and build that email list. That's like basically the most valuable resource anybody that has an online business could ever have.
Yep.
So definitely collect email addresses.
Nice. Yeah. Now going back to Udemy, because within Udemy everything's there's a you could see the number of people taking a course. You could see the rating, reviews, all of that kind of stuff. What have you done
Yeah.
to really get high reviews and keep people engaged in your courses?
Well, I personally don't do much, like in terms of being active, like asking people, could you please review stuff? Until recently, because now, well, Udemy has like this community of instructors where they share tips, and a lot
Mm.
of people say, well, if you don't ask people to review your course, a lot of people will forget, right? Originally, I was never doing that, so the reason why people gave me good reviews was because they really like the course, and
Nice.
that's the biggest strategy to get good reviews is make sure your content is really good, one, and second, make sure that you support your students. Like when they ask you a question, I always answer them, within the same day or sometimes within minutes. And I try to provide answers that are very thorough and that really solve the problem, right? So those two things would get you good reviews. And the third one is being proactive. So one of the things I've been doing lately at the last lecture of my course, it's just one lecture where I tell people, how important it is to get good reviews for instructors. And I also sometimes give them a coupon for some of my other courses, right? Because some of
Mm.
my courses are related. So and that helps a lot, right? Because the
Right.
last lecture they take is when they usually would send a review, and that now I'm reminding them, by the way, it's so important. If you could please give me a review, if you and obviously I say if you think the course is shitty,
Right.
please don't give me a bad review. Talk to me first, and I'll try to fix it, right?
There you go.
But definitely reviews. It's like when you go to Amazon and buy a book. A lot of you rely, most people rely on those 5-star reviews, so they're just gold, and they really help sales.
Yeah, and like you said, a really good way, at least from our experience, really with any reputation-based business, is make sure those negative reviews are sent to you, not post it on the whole board for everybody to see.
Yeah, there's been complaints on Udemy because some people, two problems they had that I think they're solving or they solved already. One was that for a dime, people could only give one star reviews, and it
Oh
was a
wow.
problem by the system. So I remember a friend of mine gave me five stars, and then only one star showed up, and
Oh,
I'm like, why? So that was horrible. They fixed that. And the other thing is people that give you one star review, but they don't give any explanation, and that you can never reach them, and you're like, well, I don't know what I did wrong. How can I fix stuff if you don't tell me, right? So some people have been complaining because some instructors say, well, if somebody gives a one star review, please force them or ask them to please explain why, so when people see that, they'll at least understand what's the reasoning behind that, right? So
right.
things are changing.
That's good. Yeah, because I know you could reach out to individual users if you wanted to, but who knows if they're ever going to get back to you. That's the problem.
Yeah. So
But so within Udemy, I know you can actually use that kind of like an email list. You can actually use it. You can mail to them. You can actually segment per
yeah,
course.
yeah, that's a big thing on Udemy. Well, one of the biggest drawbacks from Udemy is that you cannot obtain the email addresses of your students. And obviously you want those and everybody wants those, but that's like one of their most valuable assets. And Udemy knows this, right? So they don't allow you to access those email addresses. But in exchange of not being able to do so, you can reach out to all your students within Udemy's platform through just a message form that you can, like you say, you can segment. You can, for example, say send only this email to all people that have completed more than 50% of the course or that have not taken this course. It's very granular, so which is great, right? Just to target those students that you want, right? And then basically you press send, and it's like any other newsletter system, immediately sends a mass email to as many students as you want. So unfortunately, like I say, it's a different email list from your personal email list. So when you're doing a new launch, that means you have to do the launch in two different places at least: your email list and Udemy's list.
Exactly. Now, and just like what you said, launching. Have you ever actually taken your the content that you built in Udemy and launched it somewhere else? Because I know you can own all that content.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one thing that it's great is that you own the content. You can do anything with it. You can promote it on other platforms. And by the way, now there's lots of other platforms besides Udemy.
Right.
Udemy, I think in North America is probably one of the top ones. But in other countries, for example, I have a course in Spanish. There's many other alternatives in Spanish-speaking countries where I've uploaded my courses as well, and there's not a problem doing that, right? So yeah, when I release a course in Spanish, I release it in as many platforms as I can. The only tricky part with that is making sure that the prices of your courses are consistent across all the platforms. And the more platforms you have your courses uploaded to, the harder is that, because what you don't want is somebody figuring out, oh, I can buy this course for half the price in here, right? It creates a little bit of an issue, right? But
Yeah.
as long as you can manage the pricing and make sure it's consistent, it's actually a good idea to post it on several platforms, because that way you don't have all your eggs in one place, and also you're leveraging their marketing efforts, so your sales also increase.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's the worst number in business is one. So you want to make
Yeah,
sure you're spreading out, you're everywhere. So what are
yeah,
some?
exactly.
I know you said there's a whole bunch of different platforms outside of Udemy. What are some of like the top, maybe the top three that you have your courses on?
Hold on, I have a list here actually. I'll
Nice.
tell you right now.
Perfect.
So, in Spanish, we have Tutelus and Flock, but let me see. There's one in India, which is very big. I haven't used them, but it's called easyskills.com. Cursopedia in Spain is big. Uh, Udacity. I mean, there's for example, EDX, Udacity, Coursera, Course Hero. They are more academic, so they are concentrating more on university courses, but they're changing the model too So, for example, the Coursera guys, they approached me, and I think they have my course now too.
Nice.
So there's a lot. I would check and just type online platforms or education platforms because it's such a big thing today that there's lots of them coming out.
Perfect. Yeah, and that's I guess starting out. Would you recommend people to just just basically plaster their courses everywhere as fast as they can? Just to get
Uh,
themselves going.
you could do that. It's a lot of effort because when once you record it, which takes quite a bit of time, then you have to upload the videos.
Mm.
Take into account that a good course will have at least 3 to 5 hours of content. My course that has the most, it has 10 hours of content. That's a lot of megabytes of video data that you have to upload, and it would take you 2 or 3 days to upload it depending on your connection
Mm-hmm.
speed. And then you have to give titles to your lectures, descriptions. Sometimes you create quizzes. It's a lot of work to put the course together. So yeah, if you have the time, upload it to as many places as possible. But just be aware that it's going to take you a while to put it up there.
Yeah, and that's one thing I've noticed with your courses too is the length of time. That because Udemy actually tells you, hey, this is a
Yeah,
10-hour course, which that's a selling point for a lot of people.
yeah.
Have you noticed more that you actually make more money, more sales with longer courses, or more on the shorter end?
Um, I think if it's too short, if it's too short, then you would price it accordingly, right?
Hmm.
But I think the ideal length, they're doing their own research, but it's anywhere from 3 to 5 hours, something like that. It's something that people get a lot of value from it.
Hmm.
Because 1 hour courses or half an hour courses, you can find so many of them for free on the internet, but you won't be able to find something that's 5 hours long, that is really in depth, that is going to take you from not knowing anything to be reasonably good at doing something that you had no previous idea before.
Hmm.
So definitely 3 to 5 hours, anywhere from 50 to 80 lectures or something like that, where people get a lot of value. Now that allows you also two good things, which is you can price your course higher than a shorter course. So you're gonna make more per sale. And the other thing, because the course is more expensive, it allows you to create bigger discounts. So people, I mean, if you're selling a $10 course and you can discount it by 50%, well, you're gonna make $5.
Right.
But that doesn't seem like at the end it's not that much. But if you're selling something for $100 and you discount it 50%, you're still making $50 per sale, which is quite a bit, right? And
Right.
people are their perception is that they're saving a lot more money because they are actually. So
Yeah, it's a little sexier, if you cut it in half, by $50 or something. So,
yeah.
so yeah, by doing this, I know you have all these courses and obviously Grumo Media. I mean, that's animation. I'm in the business. It takes time. It's um,
Yeah.
how much time are you dedicating specifically to Udemy work? Responding to people and all that.
Not that much. The thing that takes the longest is to put together the course, and that would be anywhere of 1 or 2 weeks of preparation, research, and outlining the entire course, and another 2 weeks of production. So let's say a month working part time, not even full time, doing the course. And then after that, it really depends how many students you have. But let's say now I have over 3,000 students on Udemy.
Hmm.
So I'm getting maybe 1 or 2 email questions a day, right? That's not that much
No.
considering that amount of students. Now, I couldn't say that's the same for all courses. Some courses, maybe they require, it really depends. My courses, I try to make them so thorough that it's hard for anybody to ask questions because everything is answered in the course, right?
Right. Smart.
But if you happen to have something that is not clear, well, everybody's going to be asking you about that specific thing. So what you should do is create a lecture addressing all those questions so you don't have to continuously be repeating them, right?
Very smart. And
So,
yeah, and so I could see two things here. It's outlining the course, making sure you spend the time, like you said, 2 weeks. Uh,
yeah.
it's obviously a long time, but it's gonna save you loads of hours. But also Q&As too. Do you do any kind of follow up Q&A videos? Kind of like sporadically, whenever you see an issue arise.
I haven't had to because I didn't have that. Like, I have random questions. One of the good things about Udemy platform is that you have all the Q&A on the side of the videos.
Mm-hmm.
So when somebody asks a question, all the future students and current students can see the answer right there, right? So you don't have to repeat it because it's there, right? They're like, oh, somebody asked that question already. So far I haven't had to do that. Now I wanted to mention something about before you spend a lot of time doing a course, because now everybody's gonna get really excited. Oh, I'm gonna spend the next month doing it. One thing that's very important to do is to validate somehow with the minimum amount of effort whether people are going to buy in the first place. And now this is hard if you don't have already some kind of audience, but it's still doable. What I did when I did my first course, I created a sales page, just a landing page, which is basically a blog post announcing that I was going to do this course, and that if anybody was interested, they could pre-buy it at a very hefty discount. And if I got enough interest, I would actually produce it. And if I didn't produce it, I would return their money. So you see, my risk there is basically zero.
Right.
And what happens in the first month since I made that announcement, I got 25 people pre-buying the course. That to me was enough validation that people were willing to buy the course. And then I spent a lot of time doing it. How can you do this if you don't have a lot of bigger audience? Well, you have to be more resourceful, but you still can do it.
Right.
Still create the sales page or something like that. Start blogging or whatever. Open social media accounts everywhere. Post it on Reddit, on Hacker News, everywhere that you can. And then create a free course on Udemy, which is going to be a preview of the larger course. That's one strategy. That way, obviously you're not going to make any money with the free course, but a lot of people obviously take free courses, right?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So you're going to start building an audience of people that are going to learn your teaching style. If you get those students, that means that there's an interest. So you have that number one validation, and then from those you can actually convert them into the paid course. Once you have enough, you're like, okay, I have, let's say, 500 free students. It's going to be a lot easier for me to upsell the guys that already taken my free course than trying to just send emails randomly to my friends, right?
Exactly.
So that's a good strategy.
Yeah, so and then the way to take them from that free course to the paid one is that basically through the in-mail, the messaging and
Through the email, or just at the very end, one of the lectures can be, by the way, this is just a preview of my bigger course where I'm going to include all of these things. If you're interested, stay tuned. I'll be sending you a coupon in the next couple of months or something like that.
That's perfect. Yeah, so that if you're watching, yeah, definitely that's the way to start then. Just test the market, get in there, prove it, and then start selling and creating and selling. Because I know on Udemy you can see how many people are actually in the course. It can be a little deceiving if people are giving away the course for free, even if it's a paid course.
People don't know who paid or not. So still, this is a big strategy for a lot of instructors starting, and which is actually encouraged by Udemy is, the number of students is also a big point of credibility. Mm-hmm. So maybe your course is awesome, but if you only have one person taking it or two, people are like, why is nobody taking it, right? So at the beginning, you have to do things like this, is give a lot of free coupons, get people to review it. So you start building that credibility. And obviously, if the course is good, then you create enough momentum that, people are going to actually do that without you having to ask them.
Yep. Yeah, it's the social proof aspect and all that stuff. So it goes a long way with these types of businesses. Now, where do you see yourself going in the future? I know, Udemy, obviously you said, you don't want to put all your eggs in that basket. You have the animation company. Are you planning on any new ventures, something new?
Well, I've been doing both those things in the short term for sure, and probably in the long term. I don't know. As long as people buy my courses and ask me for more, and as long as there are people wanting videos, I don't think I'm going to stop doing them. Another thing we're getting into is developing iPhone apps.
Nice.
So we'll be releasing one hopefully by the end of this year. That's something completely new and different. But I like to try new things. So me and my partner, we've pretty much finished developing this app, and who knows, we always wanted to do something different. So that'd be something new on 2014. We'll try to do one or two apps.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's something we're actually talking about inside of gig hopping too, because
Yeah,
we've there's some cool things you could do to get apps to the market pretty fast too,
yeah.
without too much work. Now you said partner. Do you have a partner in animation or in Udemy at all, or is that all you?
It's all me. Like I
Hmm.
own fully the company. All my courses entirely done by me. I call him my partner because he's the one that I work with the most, right?
Sure.
And in this case, I we are partners for the app thing, right? Because it was his
Hmm.
idea, and he originally hired a developer, and then I said, "Well, this is a great idea. Okay, well let's do this you and me together, right?"
Sure.
So that's the idea. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, because that's a big thing. That's how I've seen it in business is you leverage. You leverage other people to do more stuff. Do other new activities.
Yeah, if you can, I mean, that's one of the things most people realize when they start doing a business, which is also a drawback if you're not ready for this.
Yeah.
Let's say if you're a great animator and you want to start an animation studio. Well, that means the moment you start getting enough work, you'll stop being an animator and being a business owner, which is completely different. And that happened to me. Originally, I was doing the animations, and I think after the third animation, I'm like, if I want to be able to grow this business, I have to hire people to do it, and hopefully people are better and faster in doing this, right? But that meant
Yeah.
that was the end of my life as an animator, hands-on animator, right?
Mhm.
So you have to be ready for that, but that's really the only way you can grow any kind of business is by
Right.
delegating and finding people to do stuff.
That's exactly what I did as well. Yeah, is if starting out, you definitely have to be in the trenches, but once you get going and you kind of get a little tired of doing all the work, then start finding people
Yeah,
that are better and smarter than you. Just
exactly.
take it over. So, really, what's like one big thing, but one big lesson that you've learned over this that you would tell someone now if you were to start all over again? What would you do?
Well, I wrote a blog post about my first startup failure, and what I learned before I started Grumo Media, I actually spent a year and a half trying to develop a project management system online, like subscription based,
Wow.
similar to Basecamp or Asana or something like that, right?
Hmm.
And I developed it all by myself. My first biggest mistake, I think, was not to release it early enough and not to try to get paying customers as soon as possible. Right now, I
Hmm.
think it's more common. People realize like the lean startup mantra: release often, release soon, validate stuff as soon as possible, and also do not give too much credit to your ideas because it's true. Ideas are just ideas. What I would do is try to extract ideas that people are willing to pay for. So first, find somebody that's willing to pay for your idea and then build it, not the other way around. Don't come up with an idea and spend a lot of resources trying to build this idea to find out after a few months and being penniless that people are actually not don't care about it. That's so important, and it's hard to because we're so attached to our ideas and we think they're going to revolutionize the world. It's
Hmm.
hard to swallow that pill and understand that really it's the customer who is going to dictate what works, what they're willing to pay for or not. So definitely find out that first.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Going through the validation thing, like you said, do something for free, take some pre-orders. That'll save you a
Yeah,
whole bunch of time. But obviously, yeah, acting on any idea, that's like the biggest hurdle in the world for a lot of people. So getting
yeah.
past that is huge. Um,
Hmm.
so the last thing, and I know everybody's kind of dying. This is how the only reason we ask this is just to kind of have people kind of frame what you're doing and see, let people set goals for themselves. But say for Udemy, for instance, because we know this is a full time gig, Udemy and all your other projects. What kind of
Yeah.
income are you making per month just through those kind of courses?
Well, the courses, the last couple of years on Udemy, I think I actually have a course where I teach how to create courses, which you get a coupon as well. I start saying last year I made $90,000 US selling my course. So that's been true for the last 2 years,
Wow.
right? So that's a pretty good income uh, considering the amount of work that I had to put into it, right?
Sure.
Now, the the reality is that as there are more instructors or more courses, it's becoming more competitive. So it's harder to make that amount of money. And And the reason why I've been able to keep kind of like a same steady income a year selling courses is because I've created other courses. So what happens is your course starts selling quite a bit and then it's going to taper off, especially if there is technically based or is software related, because there'll be new versions of the software, and then unless you update your course, it's going to get obsolete.
Right.
So they're always going to go like that, and they're going to be tapering, right? So in order to keep consistent sales or even higher, you have to keep pumping content, right? Mm-hmm. And then leveraging all your new students to do that, right? So it gets harder and harder, but there's no question that if your course is really good and it's something that people actually want and you're a good teacher, so there's have to be three things, a market for it. Yeah, it has to be really good content, and then you have to be good at teaching that content, right? So if those three things meet, then you're gonna make money as an instructor, no question.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah. So and obviously you get a following after that, so you can have that the mailing list and that marketing power behind you now to release anything you want to in the future. So yeah, that's great, man. Yeah, I think we gave a lot of actionable points here for new students and all alike, but. Setting goals and all that, I'm sure you've set a lot of goals for yourself and made sure you hit them along the way. Was that one big piece to keep it growing?
Yeah, definitely. I'm actually also researching a lot on why people are successful. For example, to me, the ultimate successful role model would be somebody like Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla and SpaceX. And basically, he owns has been involved in $3 billion companies. And my question is like how somebody in 41 years, he's 41 years old, has been able to accomplish all of that, right? And one of the reasons why is because he had very, very specific goals in his life. They're very big goals, incredibly big goals, just life-changing, human-changing goals. And he's been able to accomplish most of them. Obviously, comparing yourself to somebody like Elon Musk, but it teaches you that if you dream big, it's good. So, but for that you have to have specific goals, right? So my goals, I never had really specific goals. My goal was I wanted to have an online business that was successful, that provided me enough income to survive, and that goal has been accomplished. My next goal is to grow that, to be able to have, let's say, 20,000 students in a couple of years, or being able to have a very successful iPhone app. Those are very specific goals that I want to meet, right? And that gives me direction. And okay, what am I doing all this effort for? Okay, to get there, right? Very, very important.
And do you chop those goals down, kind of make them little baby steps, along the way, just to kind of make it a little easier on yourself?
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things, right? If you say I want to take over the world, that's an amazing goal. But where do you start, right? So one of the things that you do is you break them down, and you go from short to medium to long term. So short term would be things you want to accomplish within this year or something like that, or in a few months, and then 5 years or 10 years or something like that, right? And then you just try to figure out from there, okay, what's my next step to get closer? There's one check you can do in your mind every time that you're trying to, when you're doing stuff. It's like a binary test. Is ask yourself in this moment whether what you're doing is helping you getting closer to a goal or not. The answer is gonna be yes or no. So if you really want to get stuff done, make sure that the answer is yes most of the time. So for example, you're on Facebook, 2 hours on it, guess what? If you ask yourself that question, the answer is going to be no. So no wonder you're not getting anywhere, right? So make sure that you can answer that question as many times as a yes during the day.
Got it. Yeah, I think that's probably the best feedback to end on right now. With start now, something new. So Miguel, I think we covered it, man. Virtual high five to that one. Yeah. Cool, guys. So thanks for watching. Definitely check out all of Miguel's courses. He has a lot to go through, but check out the one about online, how to make a course for yourself. It'll get you going pretty quickly. So, all right, man. Good talking to you again. We'll talk soon.
Pleasure.
Right.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.